Okay, tonight's Education and Government Committee, we have one resolution for consideration for next week's agenda. Resolution authorizing county executive to execute change orders for the FMCC Student Union addition renovation project.
Sponsored. Second.
Thank you. President Swanger, did you want to be heard on this?
Sure, just for a moment, if that's all right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The student union addition and renovation project was budgeted at $2.74 million. We're coming to a close. We will take possession of the new college store on December 1st. A lot of the renovations inside the student union have been completed. The bathrooms, the HVAC system upgrades, a number of other projects. And we spent and allocated about $2.674 million. So we're a little under budget. And we want to take the balance of that budget and do some additional projects on campus in the student union. Things like lighting in the large lounge, potentially some sound dampening in the large lounge. We've got some lights in the center of the union that are old and we can't even get the parts for to replace them, and a number of other those kinds of projects. You don't see numbers in the actual change orders yet because we're still working through those with the contractors, but by the time you meet next week, the numbers will be in there, what numbers are going to which contractors. So I remind you that a lot of the bulk of the money came from the Beaumont College Association, and then we matched that with the state. There was some money that was left over from the previous summer's project that you allocated to this project as well.
Thank you. So the thrust of the matter is a project that really is coming under budget.
Correct.
And now we would like to put this money to other use.
That's correct.
Thank you. So we have a sponsor and second. We're all set? Okay. So we'll move it to the full board?
Full board.
Thank you. And we can adjourn this committee, and I'll be up with the next committee next. I think I have about 9 resolutions coming up on the next one. Okay, we'll convene Health and Human Services. First is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign a contract with HFM Prevention Council for mental health. These are many of these are year-end resolutions. This amount is for $361,000. It's a 2-year term, and it's pretty much a pass-through to vendors.
Sponsored. Second.
Sponsor and second. Okay, full board.
I'm sorry, who was second?
Thank you. Full board.
Full board.
Next is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign agreements for mental health services. These are reading the same, so they are pretty close, huh? This is the same situation. And yeah, you're helping me because I can't read this. Thank you, Martin. Thank you. Okay. Well, let me really say what it is here. I'm making this a little bit bigger here. Okay, this is also a pass-through, and this is for Hamilton Fall Montgomery Prevention Council for mental health choices in local school districts. The amount is $58,000, and we have a sponsor in a second. Thank you. Full board.
Full board.
Next is a resolution amending the 2016 operating budget in the New York State Department of Health Early Intervention Program projected year-end account shortage. You'll recall during budget hearings that we never really know what these numbers are going to be. They're not something that you can really plan. And so there are a number of transfers, and this will be budget neutral. Sponsor, Tom, second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Full board?
Full board.
Thank you. Resolution operating budget rabies program projected year-end account shortage. this is the same thing. We don't know how many cases of these are going to be in a year, but this too is budget neutral. Sponsor and second, Martin. Second, Bob Pertel, thank you. Resolution amending 2016 operating budget. This is for the preschool program, projected year-end budget account shortfall, again, public health. This is the same situation. We can never budget accurately for these. There's no way to know how many participants are going to be involved. Transfer of budgeted 3 to 5 preschool funds is budget neutral. May I have a sponsor in a second?
Sponsor.
Thank you.
Second.
And thank you. Full board?
Full board.
Resolution amending 2016 operating budget, year-end salary account shortage, public health. There are a number of transfers to and from. Again, here, transfer of funds is budget neutral. Can I have a sponsor in a second? Thank you, Joe and Bob. Full board?
Please. Full board.
Thank you. Resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into intermunicipal agreements for the provision of youth service programs in the Department of Youth.
Sponsor.
You have a sponsor in a second?
Second.
Full board?
Please.
Thank you. Resolution amending operating budget, child care program, social services. This is a $45,000 transfer. Only 18% of this, 8+ is reimbursed by state dollars. Remainder is funded by local dollars.
I'll sponsor.
We have a sponsor in a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Full board?
Please.
Thank you. So we read through those resolutions. Thank you so much. We'll adjourn this committee.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to open the Economic Development and Planning Committee. Do we have anything we'd like to discuss before we start out? We have several resolutions. The first resolution is scheduling a 30-day public review period, Montgomery County Agricultural District, Economic Development Planning. Our sponsor, Mr. Quackenbush, Mr. Diamond, thank you. Full board?
Full board.
Thank you. Resolution amending 2016 operating budget, Montgomery County Bus Transportation System, Economic Development and Planning. We sponsor? Mr. Kelly, second.
Second.
Mr. Diamond. Another resolution authorizing the executive to sign an agreement with New York State Department of Economic Development Census Data Affiliate Program. And the sponsor,
Sponsor.
Mr. Quackenbush.
Second.
Mr. Diamond.
Yep.
Full board.
Full board.
A resolution authorizing application for I Love New York Tourism Promotion Matching Grant Funds. Any questions?
Second.
Sponsor, Mr. Quackenbush.
Second.
Legislator Weiss. Full board.
Would they like,
Did one speak on
the chamber like to speak now?
Probably not.
Yes.
I have one thing I would like to say. 2 meetings ago, you were present at the meeting when we were discussing the budget for you, and someone asked you, I believe someone asked if you were doing printing with our county print shop at all. Do you do that?
We haven't printed anything since that meeting as we go forward. I
Well,
said,
about before that, I mean, you do get $60,000 from us, you know?
no, we never had.
Okay, do you think you could give our print shop some business?
Yeah, depending on if they can, if it's a map, if they can complete that job, or if it's a...
Because you did say the quality, you were concerned about the quality. Well, I'm not concerned about the quality of our county print shop.
Well, it wasn't the quality, it was the specification. Sometimes when we put it out to bid, like if it's a map, only certain printers can do map folding, things like that. So
Well, I
we're
would
gonna look
appreciate,
into it.
as a legislator, if you
Sure.
would give them the opportunity to look at some of the stuff you get printed.
Sure.
Okay?
Thanks.
That's all I have to say.
Okay. Do you have any other discussion as it pertains to economic development and planning? Got a motion to adjourn?
Motion. Second.
Diamond and Quackenbush. Let's call to order the committee meeting for physical services. Do we have any discussion? If we don't have any discussion, we have a presentation tonight from Integrated Business Solutions regarding Montgomery County DPW stockroom efficiency. Mr. Ryan, if you would.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Everybody should have a document that looks like this. That's what I'm going to be covering tonight. Thank you very much for the time that you've allowed us to speak. So this is a program that public and private sector fleets all over the country use to gain more efficiency and lower cost in their fleet parts rooms. Okay. It's generally known as a vendor-managed inventory program. We call our particular program Integrated Business Solutions. I just want to let you know that I work for a company by the name of Genuine Parts Company. Genuine Parts Company is the parent company of Napa Auto Parts. So we own Napa Auto Parts. We also own a company called Motion Industries, which is like Grainger, only 2.5 times larger. And we also own the second largest office supply company in the country, SP Richards, which is the exclusive supplier to Office Depot, Office Max, and Staples. And I tell you all of that because in many of these fleets around the country, we're doing a lot more than just fleet mechanical parts. We're doing industrial parts, safety parts, office supplies, things like that as well. Now, the site that we've been working with Paul and Dave on for about the last year here at DPW would actually locally be owned and operated by Frank Greco, sitting here in the front row. Frank is the owner of Greco's Auto and Truck Parts in Palatine Bridge, New York. So this would be a locally owned and operated site supported by Genuine Parts Company on the back side. The program that I'm going to touch on very quickly has been around for 25 plus years. We have over 390 of these sites around the country now, and about 165 of them are public sector fleets. In New York State, for instance, we do all the major fleets in New York City: NYPD, FDNY, sanitation, parks and recreations, corrections, and DOT. We also do Nassau County, St. Lawrence County, Otsego County, and the town of North Hempstead down on Long Island. In the entire Northeast, which is the area I'm responsible for, we also do the entire state of Maine DOT, we do the city of Boston, and we do the town of Greenwich, Connecticut. So big and small fleets all over the country and all over the Northeast take part in this program now. 4 main benefits to Montgomery County DPW on this program, as you can see in point number 7. Number 1, we take the county out of the inventory business. We completely eliminate the investment and all the liability that comes with that investment that the county has in fleet parts right now. When I say liability, I'm talking about obsolete parts, inventory shrinkage, parts that walk out the back door, core charges, warranty charges, overages, shortages, things like that. All those type of liabilities that you have in that parts room of yours go away because Frank will own all of the inventory. The inventory will sit on your shelf in your parts room. It'll be owned by Frank. You will not get billed for any of it until you actually request it and hang it on a vehicle. And then if a part goes obsolete, if a part walks out the back door, if there's a core charge or a warranty charge that we didn't get credit for, that's all on Frank. That's not on the county. The county has no investment in the inventory, so they have no liability in the inventory. What we'll do with your existing inventory is we will purge it back to you. We'll give it back to you at no charge. And as we whittle down your existing county inventory, we'll replace it with boxes that Frank will own. So eventually, over a period of months, we would take the county completely out of the inventory business. Benefit number 2, or B, we're going to reduce the county's transaction expense, all the paperwork. So bids, contracts, POs, packing slips, invoices, statements, the whole account payable process. Much of that goes away because we're going to own the inventory. So if we own the inventory, we're going to deal with all the paperwork. So all the paperwork, or a lot of the paperwork, a lot of the time that Dave and Paul and others within the county DPW spend going through all that paperwork goes away because we're going to own the inventory, so we're going to deal with all the paperwork. Benefit number 3, or C, increase the shop's productivity. So what this program will do, it will impact positively the amount of time that the vehicles are in the shop and the amount of time that they're on the road, fixing the roads and doing the other things that they have to do within the county. We're going to impact that shop productivity for 2 reasons. Number 1, we're going to contractually guarantee you to get you to a minimum of an 80% on-demand rate, meaning 8 times out of 10 when you need the part, it's always already going to be on the shelf in your parts room, owned by Frank, waiting for the county to ask for it. And again, you don't get billed for it until you ask for it. Second reason will impact the shop productivity is, I will tell you right now, in 10 years of doing cost-benefit analysis for public and private fleets on this program, the average amount of time that your technicians, your mechanics, spend doing something other than turning a wrench, which is what you pay them to do, that is inventory related, I'm not talking smoke breaks and lunch breaks, is about 90 minutes per tech per day. That's dealing with vendors. It's on the computer or on the phone in the catalog looking for prices, going back into the parts room, digging for parts, waiting for parts to be delivered, jumping in a county vehicle to go pick up a part, moving vehicles around in the bays because you don't have the part to do the work. 90 minutes per tech per day. So take that amount, multiply by the number of technicians they have, and add their fully encumbered salary to it. That's the kind of savings that we're talking about on this program. The last saving or benefits on the program is 7D, reduction in county acquisition costs. So we will actually reduce the cost that you're paying for all of the parts that you're buying right now. And I'm going to cover that on the second page, some actual reductions, okay? Other facts and figures about this program, the parts room will be open whenever DPW needs for it to be open. So if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and there's a weather emergency, parts room is going to be open. If they got to come in on a Saturday to finish a job, or they're working overtime, they need the parts room open, parts room will be open. So DPW will never be without the parts in that parts room available to them. Number 2, the program uses original equipment, OE parts, aftermarket parts, both Napa and non-Napa, and proprietary product. By non-Napa, even though we own Napa, I will tell you that in this program that's been around since 1991, 80% of the product that we handle is non-Napa product. So while we're buying Napa product, if the county has a particular vendor that they want us to use and it's competitive product to Napa, by contract, we will use that vendor. Our job will be to then bring you options to say, okay, you told us to buy Ford parts from this guy, and we are. I got 3 other vendors over here that can save you 3%, 4%, 5% on your Ford parts. What do you want to do? The county will always have the option to tell us what vendors to use, which is why about 80% of our product is either non-Napa product or it's OE product. OE meaning Ford, GM, Chrysler, Komatsu, John Deere, Mack, Cat, whatever it might be. The program can include much more than just fleet mechanical parts. My program is the largest single vendor, or the largest single customer that Michelin Tires has in the country. In 2015, we bought 27 million tires from Michelin, not dollars, tires. So we can give you savings on tires. We can also handle bulk fluids. On this program, Montgomery County DPW would be buying all of the bulk fluids at the same price that New York City pays, because I use the same vendor who gives me the same pricing from Long Island all the way up through Albany, Syracuse, out to Buffalo, and down to Erie, Pennsylvania. Industrial parts. So again, if the county's buying parts from Granger, and Granger has the New York State contract, I will tell you that on this program we will save you 20 to 25% on those type of products below Granger State contract pricing for the exact same product because of the company that we own, Motion Industries. Point number 5, all of our contracts, and we only do this with a contract, but every contract we have has a 60-day out clause, meaning anytime during the term of the contract, if it's not working for the county, or if it's not working for Frank, with 60 days written notice, you can get out of the contract just that fast. We'll take our parts and go back home. We have plenty of training available, the same sort of training that mechanics and shops all over the country use. We actually will come right into your DPW garage and put that training on for the county. An interesting fact for this program is that any political subdivision within Montgomery County can take advantage of this. So whether they're too small to use the program, and really with the exception of the county, there's probably not any municipalities within the county that are large enough to use this program. But every one of them can take advantage of the savings by buying their product through the DPW parts room. We'll sell it to them at the same price that we're selling it to the Montgomery County DPW. So no matter the size of the borough or the village or the town, they can get the same savings on the product that the county can get. So it's a real advantage. I can tell you now, in Otsego County, we have about 9 smaller municipalities within Otsego County, other than the DPW garage, that take advantage of this program every month and buy their parts at substantially cheaper prices. Second page, I'm just going to cover for you the numbers real quick. And this is a 50,000 foot view. We can get more specific at some point if you'd like to. First thing I did with Dave and Paul is we put together cost benefit analysis. Cost benefit analysis was 3 pieces. How much you pay for the part, number 1. Number 2, how much it costs the county to own their own parts room and run their own parts room. Cost meaning from the birth to the death of that part. From buying the part to paying for the part and all the cost in between. How much does it cost the county to bid it, contract it, buy it, distribute it, pay for it, and most importantly, account for it. So we looked at those costs with the help of Dave and Paul. They pulled a lot of numbers together. And the third piece of the cost benefit analysis, how much would it cost the county for Frank to come in and operate that part for you on a daily basis, okay? The pricing model that we use, we have several ones that we can use. This is the one that's actually the most advantageous to the county, is what we call a cost plus. So every part that Frank sells you, every bulk oil, every tire that we sell you will be at 10% over our cost. We're only going to mark the parts up 10% over our cost. That 10% becomes Frank's profit margin. Okay, and that's a contractually guaranteed profit margin of 10%. Then we'll bill you separately for all the operating expenses for us to be there. Right now, every vendor that you buy from in your private business or the county buys from, they mark all their parts up to cover all their operating expenses and leave them with a profit. All we're doing with this model is we're stripping out all those operating expenses and showing them to you right up front separately. So you'll know exactly what all the expenses are right up front. So we mark the parts up 10%. In the middle of that second page, you see pricing comparisons. So we had about 300 part numbers that Dave and Paul gave you that we did price comparisons on. On Napa products, we can save the county through this program 23%. On non-Napa products, could be competitive to Napa, could be OE products, we'll save you about 9%. On tires, we'll save you about 2%. Not a ton on tires because there's just not a lot of margin in tires. So 23%, 9%, and 2% savings on tires, looking at over 300 part numbers the county has purchased. Then we looked at just the hard cost savings. How much does it cost the county now to be in the parts business? We didn't look at soft costs, just hard costs. At the bottom of that second page, the hard cost operational savings to the county will be $91,949 or $7,662 a month that we will save you. And that's going to be made up from the acquisition cost savings I just touched on and the inventory liabilities that you'll no longer have. Reducing your existing inventory, obsolescence, shrinkage, all the things that we define as liability that you have right now. So we'll save you $7,662 a month, and that's a minimum. That's minimum. This will be a budget neutral program at worst. It actually will be better than budget neutral. We're going to save you more than it's going to cost you. Okay. Total monthly operating expenses for the IBS to operate. Frank's operating expenses to be on site every day and run that parts room for you, $7,290. So right there, we're going to save you more than it's going to cost you to run it. And there will be more savings than that as the program matures and moves along. There's also going to be a lot of soft cost savings to the county. Shop productivity, technician productivity, supervisory productivity, equipment downtime, equipment availability because it's up and running all the time. We didn't count any of those in these numbers because they're soft cost savings, okay? The clerks that do the paperwork in the county, they're not going anywhere. They're still going to be there. We're just going to reduce their paperwork load. But we don't count that as a hard cost saving, okay? So worst case scenario, this program will be budget or revenue neutral to the county, and it's probably, we've already shown it, it's going to be better than that. We're going to save you money right up front, and there'll be more savings as the program matures and goes along. That's all I've got. I know it's a real high 50,000 foot view, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them now. Thank you very much for your time.
Mr. Quackenbush?
First, I just want to say thanks for coming. I'm familiar with the program. You talked about our neighboring county that participates
Otsego?
and the other municipalities that are in that, I call it co-op or whatever you want. It works very well there. We have 10 towns and 10 villages in our county, so I can see not only the savings that happens, you know, with for the county, but the benefit to the other 10, 20 municipalities. Known the Grecos a long time, so very reputable company to deal with, so there's no question in my mind there. My only question, maybe it's more for Megan, to enter into an agreement to do this. Didn't want to get started yesterday. Is this an agreement that I mean, it's already, if there's money in the budget, it's a one-year thing. We wouldn't need legislative approval to just do it. Or if we wanted to enter into a multi-year agreement, then we would need to have how can we get this rolling?
Well, it depends on the total amount of the contract, and I believe we have a meeting set up in a couple of weeks to discuss this
Maybe Matt.
further.
Yeah, well, and just to be fair to Megan, because I know that this isn't something we've talked about in a whole lot of detail prior to this meeting tonight. The plan was to do the presentation, get the temperature of the board. You know, when we first did our initial presentation, I thought it was a great idea, so we had them look into the numbers, and that's been going on for quite some time now, very thorough. So tonight really is tonight just to get that information to you, see if you have any questions, we can do some follow-up, and then maybe give Meg a little time to figure out what we're going to need as far as a resolution for possibly December. But that's kind of the game. But I imagine we're going to need some sort of resolution. Either way, I would prefer to have it that way, frankly. I would agree with Tom, last thing, I'm sorry. One of the things that really stuck out in that initial meeting was, to me, was not only is it, you know, this is going to help us take some stuff forward as far as efficiency, but I think this can be one heck of a shared service initiative with the other municipalities, I think, without a doubt.
It's a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
Mr. Dunn?
I would just like to piggyback on what my colleague said, and I was fortunate enough to see the full presentation this past summer, and as Legislator Quackenbush pointed out, it's not only a great opportunity for us, but for our surrounding municipalities, City of Amsterdam, possibly Fulton County. And one of the things I liked about it was they do a preventive maintenance program where tomorrow you know you're going to have to replace the brakes on a truck. The morning when you walk in, there's a pallet with the brakes, any parts that they might need alongside the vehicle that's in the shop. So it's right there. So it's very, very efficient. And I just, you know, say I support this program 100%. And again, as Legislator Quackenbush said, I'd like to move forward as soon as possible. Thank you.
Chair?
Sounds good. I was just wondering, and maybe Paul or Matt could answer, what about all the other stocking material that's other than the automotive? Where's that going to be? Or is it going to be handled by them?
Yeah, I mean, as he indicated, they handle a number of other items beyond the automotive.
Okay.
And I foresee them as much as
Taking over the whole
inventory,
thing?
They will handle what we have to then, what's left for us to inventory. I really see it being like the bulk items, like our winter mix, our guide rail, our culvert pipes, large outdoor items that sit on the ground that we currently bid competitively and buy that way. As far as most of the buildings and ground stuff, I foresee them being able to handle it.
In Nassau County, we besides doing DPW and highways, we also do facilities, which means we do all their buildings and grounds, their plumbing supplies, electrical supplies, building supplies. things like that.
Good.
Mr. DeChesney?
Are there any typical issues that might arise during the operations? I'm just looking online while we're talking and reading about, is this the same company that was sued by the city of Houston for $1 million overage charge?
It was. The lawsuit is still pending. When the entire story is out there, the lawsuit will be thrown out. I mean, without going into a lot of detail, it's a bogus lawsuit. But yes, our program, we were sued by the city of Houston. Are being sued.
Not the first guarantee I've heard here tonight, but what was that issue in particular?
The city of Houston issue?
Yeah.
There were multiple issues. I'm not sure that I'm the best to go into it only because I'm not going to be but so objective, I guess. But they claimed that there were that we charged him overtime on salaries when there was no overtime worked. They charged that they were paying more for products than the invoices actually showed. I'm not down there, so I don't know all the specifics to that one. I think they were the two main points of it, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, if you've got it in front of you, you probably can see more than I know about it. But that lawsuit, like I said, is still, it's not settled. It's still pending. We've actually countersued because of some things that took place in the city of Houston with the change of administration that brought that lawsuit about.
So, this is a contract would involve a 60-day out clause, and that's really a good thing. That certainly, if things weren't working out on their end, either parties speak out, we could part ways. But how would we monitor a situation of that nature with respect to costing of parts? Because I think that was another part of this, as I'm reading it.
We would expect the county, as every county that I deal with in the North, or every municipality I deal with in the North Sea, they audit us every month. New York City, Otsego County, State of Maine DOT, they audit us every single month. So they'll pull an arbitrary number of invoices. Every invoice that we give you is going to have our cost on it and that 10% markup and your cost on the part. So what a lot of these municipalities will do is pull an invoice, check the cost, see what our cost is, and then make sure that we've only marked it up 10%. In addition, though, part of the reporting that we give to you every month is a report that show you every part used, what you paid for it prior to us being here, because we'll know what you paid for it. We'll get those prices. Those prices will be entered into our software management program, and then we'll report to you on that same box that we sold you how much you paid for the year before, how much it cost you right now. But I would expect you to audit it on a monthly basis.
Yeah, that's my problem. I've yet to convince my colleagues of the value of having our own auditor here, but that's fine. Thank you very much.
Any more questions for Napa Know-How?
Oh, you watch your commercials.
Mr. Kelly?
Do you have available more in-depth cost analysis?
Oh, very much. I have the one that Dave and Paul that we covered where we put all the numbers together, sure. I mean, I think it'd been a little bit more too in the weeds to go into tonight, but it's certainly available. They have copies, and I would be glad to come back up and sit with you and go through those copies. Yeah, sure. Along with the methodology that we use to get to those numbers, that'll be a part of it.
Any other questions?
What is included in the operating expense cost?
Operating expense is everything, every cost that Frank incurs to turn the key and turn the lights on every single day. So it's going to be the salary of the person in there, because we're going to have someone running the parts room, the benefits of that person, computer expense, monthly insurance, freight, whatever expense he incurs, he's going to pass on to you just like any vendor you deal with now. The only difference is, at the end of the month, he's going to provide the county with a profit and loss statement. That profit and loss statement is going to show, here's how much we sold you, here's how much those parts cost us, or Frank, here's how much we paid the guy to run the parts room, here's how much his benefits were, insurance, taxes, computer expense, freight, whatever. all the way down. It's going to break all those expenses out with backup every single month. So you'll know what those operating expenses are. But we also will provide you, and I've already provided Paul and Dave, a projected operating expense. That's where we're getting that number from. That projected operating expense becomes part of the contract. So you're going to be able to hold us to those operating numbers if you will.
It's roughly 87,000.
91,949 is the savings. Yeah, if you do the math on the 7290 operating expenses, multiply that by 12. I'm not good on that in my head, but that's what the operating expenses would be on a yearly basis. Easily offset by the savings that I've touched on. And really, I'm barely scraping the surface on savings. You were mentioning earlier about other parts that we can provide you with traffic control devices. We can provide you with PPE, equipment and supplies. All the fasteners. There's a lot of things that Paul was referencing that we can provide you on this program. So these savings are bare minimum. As you can see down the bottom of the second page, to me this is a worst case scenario, and it's already revenue neutral, or better than revenue neutral. So the savings will offset all operating expenses. They do with all the municipalities we do business with now. We wouldn't be there.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, we have two resolutions. First resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an agreement for brokerage services for property, general liability, and flood insurance. The county executive, it has been recommended by the county executive to enter in an agreement for the brokerage services for property, general liability, and flood insurance with Cool Insurance Agency.
Chair,
Yes.
I would like to recuse myself from the room.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions?
Sponsor?
Sponsor, do we have a second?
Second.
So, Mr. Quackenbush and Mr. Diamond. Thank you. Full board? Questions?
I do have a question. A couple of years ago, we talked about, there was a snafu with the sewer district insurance. Are we going to eventually take that under the umbrella of this?
We can. We did not do that this year. The sewer district is a relatively small piece. Jack's recommendation is that we do that. The broker that provides services for the sanitary district is a local broker that has a good relationship, frankly, with the sewer district, and it was their wishes that they continue in the future. I'm not opposed to doing that, but we did keep it separate for this year. I think it's about $25,000 worth of coverage cost the sewer district as compared to about $400,000 for ours. So it's a relatively small piece. I think sooner or later consolidating it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so we have a sponsor and a second. Any other questions?
Move it.
Move to full board.
Full board.
Thank you. Second resolution is a resolution awarding and authorizing Montgomery County Executive to sign a contract for the operation of waste transportation services associated with Montgomery County transfer stations. There's a significant savings this year and over the next 4 years. Does anybody have any questions? Or we have sponsor, Mr. Quackenbush, Mr. Diamond. Any questions? Move it to full board.
Full board.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion for fiscal services?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Thank you.